got over £3,000 worth of some of the world's rarest roses. Let's go through them and test them one by one. These are all grown by one grower from the Netherlands called VIP Roses. And in this video, we're going to dive into why these roses are worth so much money. First, we begin here with El Patron. It's a funny name for a rose. Sometimes I wonder where growers get the names for the roses from, but this one here, El Patron. We want to start by removing the elastic that you find at the bottom of the cardboard sleeves, which secures it. So I'll go ahead and snip those now. You can then undo the staple on each cardboard sleeve. And then you want to discard the packaging, being careful of the thorns on the roses. Now, if I bring these in for a closer look, you can see how unique these roses are compared to the shape of your classic rose. I will now condition the flowers. That's taking 3/4 of the leaves off the stem, taking all of the thorns off the stem as well, and recutting before I put in some fresh water. Now let's talk about some of the characteristics of El Patron, this specific rose that I've now conditioned. The first thing to note is that this rose will be available in multiple different lengths from VIP Roses, the grower. This one specifically is their 70 centimeter variety. When buying VIP roses, 70 centimeters will be the longest stem length available. That ensures that you get the biggest head available for this specific variety as well. Some other things to note is how thick the stem is. Generally, rose stems are a lot thinner than this. This will enable lots more water to travel up the stem and get to the head, meaning this rose will last longer than your average rose. The form of the petals and the shape of the bloom itself, with the space in the middle of the head, makes this rose particularly unique and something that's favoured by a lot of florists worldwide. There you have El Patron. Next up, we have Villa Muze. That's M-U-Z-E. Now, sometimes these roses are so rare that there's only a couple of buckets available in the whole world across a weekly period. We wanted to get 40 of these Villa Muze today, but unfortunately there were only 20 available directly from the grower. That says to me, after we've purchased these 20 Villa Muze, nobody else in the world today has these Villa Muze fresh into their shop. Let's go ahead and condition some of these. I just thought I'd pause whilst I'm conditioning these. These really are some of the meanest roses I've ever come across. Let me come closer and show you. Not only are there large thorns, but all throughout the large thorns, up the stem, are these micro thorns, and they're razor sharp, and they catch you very easily. When conditioning these roses, be very careful. Okay, so here we have Villa Muze. Such a beautiful new variety this year. Again, these Villa Muze are 70 centimeters stem length. They have a much thicker stem than your average rose, and they will last upwards of 2 weeks. So let's now take a look at some spray roses. These are called Shiraz spray. I will first condition the roses and then we'll take a closer look. A little side note here. So as I sit editing the video at home, I found a clip of Kim conditioning these Shiraz spray roses. And you can see as Kim begins conditioning, she's able to use a flannel. But unfortunately, she then finds out there's a few smaller thorns at the bottom of the stem. So with some roses where there's no thorns, you can use a flannel, but often you'll have to use a knife to precisely take the thorns off the stem. Now, these are very delicate spray roses. The formation of each bloom has less petals inside than your average spray rose. that causes the nice look of the wavy petals that you can see. Quite a spacious bloom. Doesn't look like it will last very long. The stem is slightly thinner than the last couple of thick rose stems that we've been looking at. That's because of the delicateness of the bloom. This is actually a very rare spray rose, a very rare variety, unique to VIP Roses, the growers, and you won't find this many places in the world. Absolutely stunning. Here we have another spray rose. This one is probably my favorite of all. It's called Royal Blush. I'll condition these down as I have before, and then we can take a closer look. And I do actually have a comparison here to show you. These are 70 centimeter Royal Blush from VIP Roses and 60 centimeter Royal Blush from an alternative grower. What I've done, once I've conditioned, I'll show you the difference between 60 centimeter and 70 centimeter roses. Royal Blush are particularly special because there's no thorns on the stem. Makes it much easier and less dangerous to condition. Now I've conditioned these, I think it's really important and quite clear once I point out the difference between a 60 centimeter Royal Blush spray rose and a 70 centimeter Royal Blush spray rose. The first thing to note is the number of flowers on the stem. You can see 5 individual blooms on the 70 centimeter and 4 individual blooms on the 60 centimeter. And if you look at the difference in size of the flower heads, you can really tell the difference. You see the difference in the thickness of the stems. So this 70 centimeter is going to allow a lot more water to travel up the stem and get to the flower head, enabling it to hydrate the flower more than the 60 centimeter, meaning it will last longer. And you can even see how much greener the foliage is on the 70 centimeter compared to the quite young foliage on this 60 centimeter. If you're a florist or just a flower lover, I would always recommend buying minimum length 70 centimeter roses. And now to highlight these, as I say, my favorite variety, Royal Blush, a really stunning, beautifully shaped, wide, creamy, pinky looking bloom. Here we have another new variety this season. This is called Villa Isodoroa. Let me condition some of these and we'll take a closer look. And there we have Villa Isodoroa, a beautiful pale lilac colour. And as I say, a new variety this season. This rose is particularly delicate. It will bruise very easily if the petals are laid down flat after you've conditioned them, or if the heads are bashed, you will find bruising appear in the rose in the form of creasing. And last, but definitely not least, we have what perhaps is referred to as the king of spray roses. This is Mansfield Pink Park, sometimes also referred to as peony roses because of the resemblance to peonies. These just really are something special. Let me condition a couple of stems and I'll show you why. Mansfield Park are one of the most thorny roses you will ever come across. Very dangerous. You've got to be careful when you're conditioning them. That's probably one of the nicest examples of a Mansfield Park spray rose that you will find. You can see 7 blooms with more little buds on there. Thick stem, again, so it takes water up to the heads. And the ball-like peony-shaped flowers open up wide on these roses over the course of 14 days or longer. A really stunning rose with a long vase life. Now, what do we do with our finished conditioned roses? As you can see here with the Shiraz spray, after we've conditioned, we'll take a clean vase, fill it up with cool water. For spray roses, different flowers need different temperatures of water, and then we make sure this water stays clean. If that means changing the water every day, then so be it. If you found any of these rose varieties or facts within this video useful, I've also created a Rare Rose Vault PDF. That's a document. It's got lots of different rose growers, lots of different rose varieties, where to source those rose varieties and growers from, how to buy those roses, where you can find them. The Rare Rose Vault is available via the link in the description, and it's a much deeper dive into the roses that we've spent many years sourcing and perfecting. If you'd like to learn about more rare flowers as well, make sure you subscribe, because there's going to be more videos like this where we showcase individual rare varieties and highlight growers that grow these special varieties as well. Thanks for watching.